you have the time to listen to me whine.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Win by Two. We have a very special episode here today.
Yes.
Looking forward to this. This is actually something that is done by request, something we were planning on doing anyway, but we got it into motion early, and
Yes.
We teased it last week. Now this week, pulled it off.
Special treats.
This week is all about recruiting. So we got some questions that are going to be answered. Now, listen, Jeff and I, we know a lot about recruiting. We've been doing this for a long time. We're pretty smart.
A lot.
We're
Long time.
really, really good at it. However, there are people who know more. There are people who do it for a living.
And we couldn't get them today, but just kidding.
We have, as a special guest today, a former Premier coach.
Yes.
Former Premier, qualified several teams for nationals, helped get
Yep.
kids scholarship when he was here.
Yep.
Has coached at every level all over the country and is currently kicking and taking names
Yep.
up in North Dakota. We'd like to welcome to the vlog, Mr. Mark Pryor.
Yes.
From the University of North Dakota. Thank you. Oh, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're very glad to have you.
That no one else was available. Thank you.
Yeah, our fourth string,
Yes.
fourth string college coach.
You made it.
No, you were our second call.
But John Dunning retired, so he said no.
Yeah, right. We had him on the hook. So what we want to do, Mark, is we're just going to take some questions, and if you'll just answer them for our viewers, we're talking to kids, parents, that kind of thing, and we'll just jump right into it.
Yes.
So, you ready?
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right. One of the first questions that we got was, and this is probably pretty general, but I'll let you kind of talk to it. And then if we want to chime in, we can. What exactly are coaches looking for when they come out and they recruit at a qualifier in a tournament?
You know, I think the first thing that we're looking for, and this is just, it's really obvious. You have to be athletic enough to perform at that level. Ultimately, we're based on, wins and losses. So what we're looking for is we're looking for student athletes that are going to be able to fit our style of play. They're going to be, if you see them and go, okay, this is a kid that physically could really fit in our gym within 1 or 2 years. You know what? And that by being physical, do they jump well?
Right.
Have they already got a pretty good touch? Things like that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The next thing that we look at, and it's really not even like number 2, it's like 1A for us. And that's really character. That's something that it takes us a while to figure out. We have to have a conversation with them. We watch, how are you interacting with your coach when it's day 2 and you guys were awful on day 1 and you're playing on court 107, nobody's around. We're going to come watch. We want to see how you behave. It's really easy to be a great kid and a great student athlete when things are going well.
Right.
What are you doing when things aren't going well?
Right.
That's one of the things that we really look for. The next thing is going to be, if we've got an interest, if you've piqued our interest there, we need to see your grades. I mean, you're coming to college to get a degree.
Right.
We need to see that you're going to be able to be successful in the classroom. If we see that there's going to be some question marks, then we're going to have to really look into it. And then it becomes risk reward. Is the juice you're going to give us going to be worth the squeeze we're going to have to put on you in the classroom every day?
Right.
Right. So that segues into another question that I think you kind of touched on, and that is, if you're a kid who's looking at those criteria, number 1A or 1B or whatever is athleticism. How does a kid know? How do I know if I'm an athlete, which schools are within my reach athletically? How do I know what schools, how do I know I'm not good enough for Stanford, but I'm way better than Jeff Kiesling College?
Don't say it.
Jeff Kiesling College made the playoffs.
The biggest thing is, I think really knowing yourself, and I think trusting your club coaches to go, okay, because the club coach is never going to shut a door. You might be a 5'7" middle and go, I really want to play for a top 10 team. Okay. I'm not saying it can't happen, but what I am saying is it could be a little difficult. So
Right.
You've really got to figure out what your strengths are. What are you good at? Once you've done that, then you need to start doing your research, looking at some of these programs to go, do they have someone that is similar to my athletic ability? Do they have, and then they need to look at, if you're an outside hitter and they're graduating like 6 outside hitters the year that you're coming in, maybe you want to look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
It is like the biggest, most difficult game of Tetris you've ever played because there's so many interchangeable parts you have to look at. The more research you can do, and the more that you can kind of trust your club coaches and your high school coaches to kind of guide you and give you some value. And then also to get out of the myth that Division I is the best. What's the best for you?
Right.
You might have a much better experience at D2, D3, NAIA, playing JUCO for a couple years. All of those are options that you can get a great experience with. I think there's too many kids that get too caught up. I've got to play D1. I've got to play D1. When sometimes there's a lot of Division II schools, and there's a lot of Division II schools that are in the North Texas and Lone Star region that are funded way better than Division I schools.
Right.
So I think the more research they're doing and trying to say, where do I fit? Where do I compare? And then as they're looking at those schools, ask those coaches, hey, where do I fit in your roster? And the coach might go, well, you would be able to do this or this. Or the coach might go, hey, your strengths really don't fit our needs. And that's great because the more information you have, you can make the best decision for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something we tell our kids a lot is the more work you put in, the easier the process is.
Yeah.
Like we can't do it for you as much as we want to get out there. And by the way, and I want to jump ahead, no club can. No club can do it all for you. You've got to put in the work a little bit. We can help for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, more research, more emails, more phone calls. You gotta look into it. I think that's fair. All right. So what about, this is an interesting question. Do I need a video? Do I need a video, and do recruiting services work?
Or how well do they work?
There you go.
Here's the thing. Do you need a video? Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Do you have a phone? You can make a video.
We have the iPhone too.
If you're a middle, I don't need to see you in serve receive for 20 minutes, and I don't need it highlighted. Okay.
Well, it's set to some really cool music, and
this is true.
right.
This
I mean, some of them are entertaining. I guess.
If you're kind of on the border, you better have it better be some good music that coach is going to enjoy. So
Pro tip.
Bieber's not going to cut it. I think the big thing is anything
20-year-old
that
music.
you can get in the hands of the coach is the best.
Right.
Taking 5 to 6 approaches next to a basketball rim, so you can kind of see here's about what I touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that can be sent as a text.
True.
Sure.
It's really easy. The more you have more technology in your hand right now as a potential student athlete than you need, and it just comes down to have somebody hold that phone, have somebody video a little bit of it, and you can get an app for $1.99 or free that you can clip it up yourself and then send it out.
Sure.
As far as recruiting services, they can do that for you. They probably have a mass email they can send out consistently. Some of those are great. Some, it just depends on the coach. I think that there's a lot of coaches that will use that when they've got to have a little more of a shotgun approach method. They're trying to, they've got to
casting a wide net.
They just get as little video clips that show them at their best. That's going to pique that interest to where coaches are going to go, I need to go see this kid.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, on that note, we did have a kid get a scholarship off of a text message video last year. Someone asked, we had one clip. Granted, she hit a kid in the face and the ball hit the ceiling off of it, but it was after that, everybody was like, yeah, where do we go? And got her on a visit, and she was done.
That's the clip you want to use. Use that.
Yeah, what do we let's talk about divisions just a little bit. Like what's the difference between, from your standpoint, JUCO, NAIA, Division III, Division II, Division I? We've touched on Division I a little bit. Division II, what are the rules? How many scholarships?
You mentioned the other options. What's the differences?
With Division I, which is probably most what a lot of people are familiar with, you're going to have 12 full scholarships.
And those
They're on or off.
Can they
now,
be?
In Division II, you've got 8 full scholarships.
Okay.
Division II, you really can divide it up, and you can kind of sometimes Division II, there's a lot of programs that can really add to their scholarship amount, because if you've got a kid that's bright, can get a little academic financial aid, you can actually add the academic financial aid to the athletic aid, and it allows a coach to really kind of grow that number of 8. You've got some bright kids, they could get to 12.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually mix and match with the Division II level. You can decide, hey, your first year, maybe we're only going to pay for, if it's 20,000, we're going to give you 2. Your next year, we're going to give you 8. Your next year, 16. Your last year, 20.
Right.
So they can do all of those things, where Division I really doesn't have that opportunity. You get it, you don't. And those are the programs that are fully funded.
And there's no splitting that, right? There's no splitting that at all. In Division I, you cannot split any.
If you are fully funded, yes, you cannot do that. Yeah, if you've got your 12, then you really can't do that.
Okay.
Now, once you get to Division III, you're not going to be able to get any athletic aid. But a lot of these Division III schools put together what's called grant and aid packages. That there's a lot of things that go in with that, with your academics, maybe what your major is. There's a lot of very creative things that they can do. If you're looking at a Division III, a lot of those schools are going to have, certain weekends that they'll have a big kind of student orientation, student recruiting weekend. Those weekends are really good to kind of get up there if you can and sit down and talk with those financial aid people. And those coaches are actually pretty adept at putting together, here's what we can do to kind of maximize the amount of aid that we can get for you, even though it's not specifically, here's a volleyball scholarship.
Right.
Now, junior college, depends on the junior college. They're gonna have fulls. Some of them are gonna have halves. You just have to kind of know that. NAIA is a bit of the wild west. There's a lot of room for interpretation. So that's an opportunity to really kind of make your money go a little further.
Right.
So each one of them, once you figure out, am I interested in this school? The next thing is, okay, who's your governing body? NCAA, then it's D1, D2, D3. Junior college, NJCAA, because there's NJCAA D1, D2, and D3. You've got NJCAA D1s in Texas. You've got a couple D2s. You've got half of the NJCAA D3s are in the Metroplex.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of that. And then looking around at the NAIA schools, those are some smaller ones that you just kind of have to know really, okay, what's your classification? And those coaches are going to guide you through that process.
Right.
Cool.
Awesome.
I don't know if that helped, but it's clearer than it was, because it's a mess out there and you got to really know what you're getting. And this is why it's daunting for people.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, we got a couple other questions here from people. One of them was, what is the clearinghouse?
Okay. Well, the clearinghouse really isn't a thing anymore. It's called the Eligibility Center.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the NCAA Eligibility Center. What everybody needs to do is, if you want to be able to play at that NCAA institution, for junior college, no big deal.
Right.
NAIA, different set of rules. But NCAA institutions, what you should do is you need to go to your guidance counselor at your high school. And most guidance counselors are going to be able to show you what the link is, and it's NCAA Eligibility Center. You put in your Google, it'll come up. You're going to have to register there, because what they're going to do is
right.
Eligible is another. So that's kind of what they do, and you're going to need to send your transcripts in. The biggest thing that you can do if you're a junior, really make sure that this club season you have a 5-semester transcript available, because that is going to really help out this spring when there's a lot that's going on. And then when you're a senior, having that 7-semester transcript available. Here's where I am. And if you're already registered with the Eligibility Center, they'll be able to tell you, okay, you're a preliminary qualifier, you're on the right track. And they'll also be able to kind of work with your guidance counselor, the school you're looking at, plus the Eligibility Center to see, okay, you have enough core courses. So your senior year, you're not taking, basket weaving, auto shop.
Right, not taking an easy load. You got to make sure you're putting some substance in there.
Course you're taking that's taught by Mario and Luigi. Okay, there's joke courses that are around. You've got to make sure that you're taking the right ones. If you're not taking those, then it's really going to be a struggle to make sure that you get those credits. But that's what it's there for. It's there to help you and guide you.
Right.
Cool.
Awesome. I thought it was the Publishers Clearinghouse.
No,
at
I did
first,
too.
and
I
was
thought I was going to win.
they're going to bring me a check.
It's $20,000 a week for the rest of my life. I was going to sign up.
Sweepstakes.
One last question on this front before we get into some other stuff. Is we have a lot of kids that they freak out when we say, "Hey, the coach wants to call you," and they're like, "What do I do? How do I talk to a person?" It's like the weirdest thing. Or they have to send out an email. And they're like, "What does the email look? I don't know what to say." So you're a coach. You've got a recruit that wants to email you, or a senior that wants to call you and get on the phone. What do they need to be asking? What questions they need to ask? What do they need to say? What are you going to want to hear from them? What is that interconnection? What does that look like?
I think the biggest thing for every recruit is to be authentic. It's okay to be nervous. You never talked to this person before, and there's a lot of times it might be somebody in a school you've really never heard of, might be on the other side of the nation.
Right.
So the first thing, they need to understand that if they're calling a coach, it's not our first rodeo.
Right.
We try to make it as easy as possible. And what we're going to do is really explain a lot of things that go on with our program, with our university, with our community. And then we will gradually kind of get a chance to ask them some things. And we try to do our job as best we can, asking open-ended questions. So it's not yes, no.
Right.
To try to
talk
get that conversation
right.
going. In an email, we need the kid to email.
Right.
Mom, Dad, look at this. We need the kid to email. You don't have any eligibility left. Deal with you. Okay?
Yes.
Wait, so you want the parents to email? Is that what you said?
What?
You want the parents to email?
No, they can email the club coaches. We know how that goes, right?
Yeah, we get those.
Yes.
We get those.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the email, they need to include their club schedule, their why I'm interested. This is what I play. This is if they have their stats, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, as long as they've got kind of those basics, and as long as they are, I think the big thing for a lot of coaches is, just making sure that we're seeing them kind of take some ownership of the situation. We don't expect them to do the whole thing.
Right.
They're ready for that. We get that.
Yeah.
But as long as they're, hey, here's my club schedule. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my practice schedule in case you're in the area. That's always big.
Yeah.
Is there a time you'd like me to call?
Yeah.
If so, that's great. Here's my club coach's email address, because if I'm a freshman or a sophomore, I understand that you can't really respond, but you can respond to to a club coach. So that's kind of and that's one of those tricky things that everybody kind of has to deal with. It's where recruiting is right now. But I think the more that they are active in the process, the more that they're just trying to be themselves.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I got a call from one kid, and this is years ago, that I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she goes, "Well, we're at a One Direction concert." And I'm like, "That's it. I'm done coaching. I can't do this." I was shocked. But we're going to make time. If you're calling us and we want you to call and we're not around, just got to keep calling. We know, we get it. It's not an easy thing, but if you can give us a call, let's have a conversation. Yeah. And you might know after the conversation, I want to play there.
Yeah.
Or it might be, I'm really interested.
Right.
And both answers are right.
Right.
There's not an answer there.
Right.
Because that allows you to move on, allows the coach to move on.
What if the kid had been at a Journey concert? Would that have been different?
It would depend. If it was a cover Journey band, then that's great. But if it was actually Journey concert, that's somebody's mom on the phone. No eligibility left.
Again, yeah, no eligibility.
Okay, Mark. Well, I want to hit this because this is always one of my biggest pet peeves is when people think they understand recruiting because it's how they would do it and they're amateurs. And we get a lot of kids and parents that come to us with these myths. So I'd like to get you on record, either bust them or confirm them. Okay, you're going to play recruiting Mythbuster right now.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. All right. So
go.
I'm too short to play college volleyball.
Nonsense.
Excellent.
Absolute nonsense.
That coach doesn't want, or no coach is going to recruit me because I don't play that much.
Okay, I just lost you. Can you ask that again?
Okay, sure. No coach is going to recruit me because I don't play that much. If the coach doesn't play me, I'm not going to get recruited.
Okay, that's nonsense. There's a lot of coaches that will go look for that top elite team and go, I can't get any of those kids, but those 2 kids over there,
Right.
they might not play a lot, but I know they can help my program.
Yeah. They've been training at least. Yeah.
How much they're playing does not matter. If those coaches are interested, they're going to see you at a club practice.
Right.
Period.
Oh, I got one.
Go.
My team runs a 6-2, but I'm not the starting setter. Will anyone take me?
Does your team at least side out 3 times?
No. Yes.
Okay. Good. I think you see where we're going with that.
But I'm not the starting middle. The libero starts for me.
Ooh. Oh, right. I start in the back row, not the front row.
Will school see that and realize I'm not good?
What's another good one we always get? We get this one. Well, I want to be a sorority girl, so I can't play volleyball.
Another myth. And here's the thing. You need to talk about with that coach what you want to do, because certain universities are going to say, here's what I'm interested in you doing outside of volleyball. Here's what we recommend and not. Certain coaches want a very well-rounded student athlete. You've got one chance to go to college. Then after that, you got to get a job.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know exactly what you want to do. And I think having those discussions with each individual coach will kind of alleviate that, because we've only got you for 20 hours a week. The rest of that, you have to be a college student.
Yeah.
So figuring out what's going to make you happy in those other 20 hours a week is pretty important.
All right, I got one more. Unless you got another one.
I'll see if I can come up with one.
This is actually something that coaches around here throw around a lot, but a girl might say to us, well, I have to go play for Club X because they're going to help get me a scholarship because they're friends with all these coaches, and these coaches will take me because they're friends.
Well, I don't have any friends. Like, nobody likes me. So that's not. No, I think the big thing is we're going to find you. If you're good, you go where you're comfortable, and we're going to find you.
Right.
Period.
Right.
There's no secrets anymore with you being able to send us a 20-second clip from your phone. Okay. There's not going to be that one unbelievable 6-rotation outside hitter that's touching 10-7 that's playing in this small town outside of Clyde, Texas. That doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
So we'll find you. You just be active, and you go where you think you're going to be most comfortable playing.
Right.
And you're going to have the best experience because you're the one that's paying for it.
Yeah.
Right. But there are some clubs that will promote you better than others and get out there. But at the end of the day, you guys are good at your job and you find kids. You find the kids.
I mean, it's not easy, but we try to be.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
Now I think maybe we could clear up some parent questions about when they say, or even the kids, what can I say to that coach? I'm talking to that coach via email. You're at Lone Star. They walk up. What can the parent say to you?
You mean legally?
Hi, right?
Yeah.
That's
Bye.
Yeah.
That's it.
We get parents.
It puts us in a really awkward situation.
Yeah.
Because if there's a kid that 4 coaches are really talking to, and that 4 coaches are actively recruiting on that court, and you've got parents that are coming up, don't you think that as those parents talk to one of those coaches, every other coach is going, okay, what's going on?
Right.
That's a recruiting violation.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when we're just trying to do our job, it puts it in an awkward spot, and it's one of those that, hi, hello, very cordial, quick communication is okay, but anything with any type of depth, that's a no-no.
Even if it's like about the weather, or like don't even go there. Just say hi, how you doing, and move
Good
on.
to see you.
Yeah.
Good
Right.
to see you. And then it's one of those that, and I think there's a lot of coaches that are going to say, hey, I'm going to see you. They'll put in an email, or if they're having a conversation, I'm going to see you this weekend. Best of luck. And just remember, I can't really talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because we get lots of
We get
parents
that
that are.
one, yeah.
What do I say? What can I do? And
We
we're
had
like,
one dad that
you
was
can't
convinced.
say anything.
One dad was convinced every coach in the country hated him because
Yeah.
every time he walked up to him, they walked off.
I know that dad. He was a jerk.
He shall remain nameless.
All right. Well, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Mark, we certainly appreciate your time. We'll give a shout out to North Dakota. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like they went to the big dance or anything.
Ever.
Twice. My bad.
Maybe twice.
That's our boy. That's our boy.
Yeah.
No, you're doing a great job up there, man. We're super proud of you, and keep up the good work. And hey, if anybody doesn't mind mildly frigid temperatures,
Yeah.
I know a great school. You can go to.
And on that note, gentlemen,
Thanks a lot, Mark. We appreciate it.
we'll see you.
All right,
See you,
buddy.
man.
Okay.
All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's some answers to your questions,
Yeah.
and hopefully that helped out. Hopefully, maybe we can do that again if there's something we didn't say. So
Yeah. And if, if you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to post them below. We will try to answer them, with a video. If we don't get back to each of those questions individually,
Yeah.
don't get your feelings hurt.
this
It's
is really a
just,
public service, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like we're
no, I
doing this
agree.
for you people.
Yeah.
So it's time to get in there and like, share, subscribe. In the meantime,
Like, share, subscribe.
we'll see you later, volleyball world. Later. Peace.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all out?